So, this guy goes to a doctor because obviously he's not feeling well. And the doctor had told him, if you believe you're well, you will be well. So the guy thought about that for a second, and he said, so then if you believe you're paid, then you will be paid? The doctor said, well, no, not exactly. And he said, well, why shouldn't faith work as well in one area as the other? And the guy said, and the doctor said, because there's a considerable difference between having faith in God and having faith in you. Right? You're supposed to do thank you, Annette. We're going to switch you places with Gina. Finally. Too late. So faith has many meanings. It can mean a faith in religion. It can mean trust in a universal God or gods. It can mean trust or faith in another person. And so faith in those contexts means that you have belief and absolute trust in yourself or the universe or God to deliver your desires, even if you cannot see how it's done. Faith is one of those great powers that we actually do possess. And without it, it's very unlikely that we would succeed in anything that takes us out of our comfort zone. Without faith, we may even give into fear. And when we give into fear, we may not be able to make those significant changes in our life so we can achieve that significant personal growth that we so desire, that we so want to do. So the bottom line here is faith doesn't really have to relate to religion. It's simply a trust or a belief in something without proof. And in a lot of cases, and in many people, it's the invisible that's creating that disbelief. People lack faith in various areas of their lives because they're looking for evidence. Maybe waiting for the ideal job or the perfect relationship, waiting for that financial abundance, whatever they're looking for. The problem is they're looking for something intangible. And as a result, they find themselves still waiting and waiting and waiting. And we've become a somewhat impatient society. So if the answer doesn't fall into our laps right away, we tend to become cynical. We tend to lose faith. Lose faith in ourselves, lose faith in life, lose faith in God. How many times have we personally become jaded by past experiences that we lost all faith and we wonder, am I in the right place? Am I on the right path? And we start thinking about those things, wondering those questions on a personal level as well as on an humanitarian level. People who have faith achieve incredible things. And they achieve those incredible things through trust in life, trust in themselves, trust in God, source, higher power, universe. All great achievements begin with an act of faith, a belief that it can be done, and a trust that it can and will be found. A way will be found. So, what I'd like you now to do is, go ahead and switch that, is meet Niel. Niel is the special education teacher at Corona High School that Valerie and Lori brought to us a few months ago. Niel started a program to help the homeless and underserved students at Corona High School and their families. so they may have their basic needs met. She reached out to the community, appealing to Corona and Norco's sense of humanity. And she was overwhelmed with a generosity prior to the holiday season. Some of you were here, some of you remember that. You know, sometimes at holidays, people's hearts open wide, right? And then it's kind of done. Well, not here. We now have that opportunity to help Niel and her students and their families in an ongoing basis. And I'm really excited and I'm really thrilled about this. Valerie had given me a list of items that there is a need for. And so right now there is a list posted in the kitchen. And if you give me a few days, I'll also have it posted on our website, so you can access that at any time. There's a need for non-perishable food items. There's also a great need for hygiene items. When you see this list, you're going to wonder how the heck people could go without these basic things. It will touch your heart, bring out that compassion in you that I know you all have. Now, you are welcome to donate and bring in those items at any time you're here at Common Ground Corona, and Valerie has volunteered to take them over to Niel and get them to the students. You can see, kind of see in this image that she's got basically a store set up. And so her students come in and they shop. Of course, nothing costs these students a dime. So they're shopping for whatever it is they need. And many times what happens is they come in, and Valerie was just telling me the other day that somebody comes in and says to Niel, "Can I have an extra toothbrush? My brother doesn't have one." Well, of course, right? Or my family and I share a toothbrush. Can I have a pack? So those are the kinds of things that are happening that she is seeing on an everyday basis. On Fridays, most of these children during the week get the free breakfast, free lunch. So on Fridays, what Niel does is packs backpacks and sends food home for the weekend. And then the kids bring the backpack back on Monday for the next Friday. So we have an opportunity to be in service. We have an opportunity to reach out to our community, to be the hands and feet of God expressing as love in our own community. I think it's really exciting. And Niel is open to coming and talking to us and sharing with us, and I know how grateful she truly is. Talk about having faith in humanity. And that's what I was talking about a moment ago. All great achievements really do begin with an act of faith. And in this case, Niel's faith in humanity. That faith that there are compassionate people out there who want to help. It doesn't matter what religion someone is. It doesn't matter what political affiliation they have. It doesn't matter to anybody how they see the world. Those things are so incidental. There is a need. And as one human family, we can help fill that need. And for me, that's really exciting, especially since it's in our own community. Faith is the most important ingredient of success. Faith in this case allowed Niel to begin this program where she had no idea what the outcome was going to be. It was very uncertain. And her faith in this community sustained her until those results were actually accomplished. And she's seeing it and seeing it. And Valerie actually told me the other day that some organization said to her, "Oh, why don't you come work for us?" Right? She's like, "No, I'm not giving up my teaching job." This is just something she started because her heart ached. Without faith, it's unlikely that we would even try to make any major change in our life or in the life of someone else. And we might even find it difficult to keep going against what they call the odds and those naysayers, right? It'll never happen. You can't do this. Our strength lies in our inner wisdom. And our work is to listen to that inner wisdom and to respond in kind. Sometimes fear tells us we can't do something. And if we listen to that fear, that's when we lose faith. That's when we may not even bother to try. And do you know how many children and how many families would be going without if Niel allowed fear into her equation? Isn't that amazing to think about it that way? We are called to dream big, to expect the best, and then to let go. And that's called surrender. And when we do surrender, it gives the universe the space to do its thing through us. The more we can imagine, the bigger life can be. And the key to that is faith. Absolute faith. Now, having faith is not about knowing anything with absolute certainty, looking how it's going to pan out and, the end result. It's about being okay that some things cannot be known. We all have moments when it seems like everything's going wrong. That's unavoidable. We're human beings, and that's part of the plan. Whether it's a relationship or a lost job or a health issue or you're feeling lonely, the list of possibilities that are in store for us because we are human can be both awesome and overwhelming. And it's when things are at their most challenging that we need faith the most. That we know the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Want me to sing? I was this morning with Nathan. Sustaining our faith through all the distractions, all the trials, all the tribulations of our day-to-day reality can be a challenge, however. And if you lose faith, you become discouraged. And then you lose your motivation to take action. And then you lose momentum. And it just spirals. It happens to all of us from time to time. Our resilience, our endurance is going to be challenged. Part of that human experience that we're all having. And we all strive for that unshakable, deep down faith to know that all is well in the world. And I'm here to tell you, truth be told, it's a secret, but all is well in the world. It really is. Because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That is one of the important aspects of having a community of like-minded people who see the world the same way essentially that you do, and to support you through those difficult times, to support you when you feel like you have no faith that everything's going to be okay. Our faith can easily decline if we're around people who are having trouble holding on to their own faith, right? It's easy to get caught up in that. And I'm not telling you that this is the only place in the whole wide world that is going to support you through that. There are plenty of people who are not religious, who are not spiritual, that have such an incredible faith in life. They have an incredible faith in humanity, the world. What I see and what I hear is that there are many who are losing faith. There are many that are losing that trust in everyday life, day-to-day operations, if you will. And losing that, knowing that certainty that in the long run, things are improving for the better. And you know what? I absolutely and honestly believe that. So hold on. Have some faith. Don't lose it. We can easily give up and throw in the towel. That's easy to do. We can become apathetic. However, it is time to strengthen our faith. Strengthen it through that certainty that life is moving in the direction of our personal and our global well-being. That's where we want to move to. This time of what we see as chaos is really the unfolding of something greater, of something better. This time of chaos and uncertainty always helps us grow, always teaches us a beautiful lesson, always. Gail made that point really very clearly, I thought, last week. History repeating itself. Deepak Chopra refers to the suffering of life as divine discontent. He says that if we didn't have suffering, we would have no creativity. We would not move, we would not grow. And that is the truth. Some discomfort is necessary for life. Think about it, a world without any suffering, any discomfort, any upheaval would remain stagnant. It would be frozen in time. A world with discomfort, a world with shaking things up a little bit, allows us to grow. It allows us to become closer, to become kinder, to become more gentle. And it brings us to feel that interconnectedness that we're so deeply desire. Brings us to our one heart. Faith is the absolute knowing that things will change, that things will get better. You just have to look at history to realize that faith isn't that abstract notion. It's an idea powered by real, concrete facts. We don't have to listen to the so-called experts about what's happening in the world. And you want to know why? Because there are no experts. I'm not sure why it is. I suppose it's probably human nature. But when someone calls themselves an expert, we throw away all of our skepticism. We believe every word they say, even if the message is full of doom and gloom, which I know we've all been hearing a little or maybe a lot of. These experts are just human beings like you and I. No one has a crystal ball, not that works anyway, in that way. The only expert that really exists is you. You know from living life that the world works in a very obvious pattern. Night and day, up goes down, dark becomes light. When it rains, it pours. Yes, eventually it stops raining. It always does. It's just common sense. And you know that eventually it will all work itself out. You know that because you've seen it time and time again. And you don't need an expert to tell you otherwise. You know, you've always known that one day it will be different. It will be better, without a doubt, and that's faith. So today I invite you to stop, take pleasure in life's little miracles. Recognize that each day is a gift. And remember that every breath that you take is a confirmation of faith in life. So thank you for being here while I shared this truth as I understand it.